What, Mungu watu? Mungu wetu? What does it mean?
It's like our Father who's in heaven.
Our Father who's in heaven. Okay. I only know that was in Swahili. Earlier we had Spanish and French and our Cameroonian dialect and Russian, and I did some German over here. You do know some Swahili. Some of you have sung the song in here. Siahamba Ekukenyeni Kwenko. We are marching in the light of God. And now we're going to teach you another. Let's teach them. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Amen. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Yeah, my translation for what I just said is, Jesus is the man. They say maybe Jesus is strong, something, I don't know how you say. So this is Pentecost, many languages all floating together. Last week, also a different service. Last week, Reverend Derek was here, and this was the pulpit exchange where many different preachers traded around. Wasn't it wonderful for a preacher to talk slowly? Never happens here. I was in Trinity Presbyterian in Ogden, and I talked way too fast for them. They didn't mind, though, because there was a birthday cake afterwards. The guy turned 90 years old. He was right in the middle of the age groups of that church, so it was a little different experience than having a rainbow here. I thought about maybe taking that sermon from last week and tweaking it, bringing it to you. I thought it went well, but it just doesn't fit with Pentecost. Pentecost, this feeling of diversity and on fire. So we also have Pride Month going on here, a story about diversity on fire. So I went with something that tries to bring those two messages together. But the problem is, this happens to you sometimes. You get just tuckered out, just worn out. And this is a pretty busy week. We had some extra worship services, we had some extra funerals, we had a lot of things like that. So I'm pretty tired. So I decided that for today, this will be the shortest sermon you've ever experienced. And that was Ken. That was Ken over there, yeah. Don't look at me. It'll also be it'll be tight. I'll speak slowly. It'll be maybe fun. Some of you may be fun. Let's see. There once was a man from Nantucket who had zilch on the list for his bucket. It was shame, no relief, and far too much grief until he heard Jesus say, "Chuck it." The shame and relief, of course. I started college in Des Moines, which cost more than a few coins. I studied religion. I made my decision, a life of justice. I was ready to join. But I ran from the church, don't you know, to climb many rocks and ski snow. The Spirit pursued my calling. It brewed. Something started to grow. You heard of inspiring wind and fires that danced over chins. Those people were lost until Pentecost, where God's love found a group to move in. They came from all over the place. Imagine the looks on their face when them and those people joined at the steeple, a family wild with grace. Men, women, and children galore, too many to fit in the doors. When they could trust, belonging was must. Guess who showed up? It was more. Rainbows of all different sorts, gathered for peace and comfort. They learned from each other, kin, sister, and brother, what life's like in heavenly courts. God's truth, it said, hate is a liar. With races and genders inspire. With love in your soul that makes the world whole, diversity is on fire. God said it, so it must be true. And you know just what to do. Equity, inclusion, it's no illusion. That's how the Spirit, it blew. Though demons and cruelty arise and spread their terrible lies, we give compassion and love is in fashion. When they go low, we go high. So, Pentecost, once again, the church was born, and then we worshiped together, not just birds of a feather. And the people of God said, Amen.